Firstly, Happy New Year to everyone, 2022. Now, over the past few years, since 2016, I've spent all of that time trying to learn about myself, try to know myself, as they say, know thyself. And I've been on a journey since my heart operation to do just that. Learning ways to manage my mind, manage my thoughts, energy, all of these sorts of things to create something really, really different in my life than I had created up until the age of 40. And I've also made it my passion, or it is my passion rather, to help others to do the same, to create health and happiness and well-being in their own lives. So if you want to learn some tips that I've learned along the way, then this is the video for you. One of the first things that I needed to really start to look into with myself was my thoughts, my feelings, my intentions, my words that I used, and also my expectations, because the expectations I had were from my past. So what I was kind of doing was almost bringing my past into the present and future just based on my expectations of almost, oh, well, that's going to happen because this happened before, that sort of attitude. And I really had to look within. It takes a lot of courage to actually start self-inquiry, to start learning about yourself, and to not reject the bits that you might not want the world to see. Because that's what we kind of tend to do over the years, is almost sort of chop that part off so that we don't have to deal with that and no one can see that part. But ultimately it is part of us, and we all have those parts. So you kind of have to start being acceptant of those parts and look at them with compassion rather than rejection. Now, the mind is one of the hardest things that you can ever master, or conquer rather, but it is possible. Because the more that you start to notice your thoughts and your feelings and tap into those feelings within your body, the more you're going to start being aware of them to be able to trip that pattern or that program in the future. So it is possible to master your mind. It just takes practice, and it takes commitment, and it takes responsibility, because I had to be responsible for the fact that the thoughts that I was having, the feelings that I was having, the expectations I was having, or I had, were within my control. As soon as I knew they were within my control, I had the ability to change them, because it's empowering to know that. When you know that, then you're responsible for that. You know that you can change it. When you push it out, as in it's somebody else's fault or there's always somebody else to blame, it's disempowering. You're giving your power away by almost trying to avoid looking within. And trust me, I did that for many, 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 many years. I had quite a turbulent upbringing. So for me, that was the thing that I could go, that was my go-to of what I could blame for the situations that were happening in my life. But ultimately, in order to change it, I had to start looking within, because there was one common denominator in every situation, and that was me. So it does take courage. It does take effort to do this. But once you've done it, it's going to be something that changes your life, just because you're starting to notice, be aware of it, and change it a lot quicker. The second thing that I had to really look at were my choices, because we make our choices based on our thoughts, our emotions, our expectations, our intentions, all of the things that I've just mentioned. So I had to be responsible for my choices and own those choices. Again, I couldn't blame those choices on anyone else, because ultimately I'm the one making them, and it's only me that is making those choices. And every single moment you have the ability to make a different choice that is right for you. And when you start working from choices from your heart, which is the seat of your soul as far as I'm concerned, then those choices come from a place of love. If you're working from your head, which is kind of the monkey mind that gets in the way sometimes, then those choices tend to be from your ego. And you can tell the difference, because when your choice is out of self-righteousness, when your choice is out of, being right, of conflict, of competition, then you know that those choices aren't from your heart. When your choices are from your heart, it comes from pure love, from compassion, from cooperation. Those are the choices from your heart, which are your intuitive choices. The problem is that we've, over the years, and myself included, up until I going through this journey, we've kind of shut off the ability to tune into our heart. And when we can start to learn that again, then life is going to be so much more different for you. So give yourself the space to allow yourself to tune in to your heart, to really start having self-inquiry of asking yourself, your true self, not that monkey mind, of whether that's the right choice for you. And you will start to then notice certain feelings within the body that are intuitive, where and it leads you then into the right place. Your heart wants to lead all the time. It's just that our head kind of gets in the way most of the time. The next thing that I needed to learn, or I chose to learn rather, about myself, was my actions. Now, your actions are based from your choices. So you make your actions through your choices. You make a choice, and then you take actions on the back of that choice. Now, your actions also include your behavior. So you choose to behave however you behave. That's within your control. That was within my control. And it was something that I chose to be responsible for, because that's within my reach. That's something that I could change if I wanted to, and if I chose to. So looking at your actions, then think about, you can't open the door by sitting on the sofa. You can't open the door by simply just sitting on the sofa and wishing it. It doesn't happen. You have to make certain actions to get to the door, to open it. And it's all about energy. All of these things are energy. No exceptions to the rules. When we think about our actions, then think about energy. Energy loves movement. It loves the flow of movement. And then make small sort of incremental steps to get to your goal. Because once you've had your intention and your thought and your emotions around that thought and intention, you make your choice. Once you've made your choice, you then take your actions towards that. And you're responsible for all of those. I am responsible for all of those for myself, to create the results that I want. Under the umbrella of energy. That's the last thing. So think about all of that is energy, every single part of it. And we can sense energy when we start to really know thyself, if you like, when we start to really tune into the sensations within our body, the intuition, the thoughts that we're having, all of these sorts of things, we can have an understanding that we're projecting this energy out. And what we project out, we're magnetizing back into us. Think about it as like attracts like, and it absolutely does. So again, be aware of your choices, of your environment, who you're surrounding yourself with, what type of people. Are they uplifting? Are they bitching and moaning all the time? Are they negative? Are they positive? Are they bringing you up, lifting you up, or are they holding you down? Also, your environment in your home. You can create some space in your home. So think about creating space, getting rid of the things that you've been holding on to for many years that maybe hold certain energies. Start creating space, because when there's space, then energy wants to bring, the universal field kind of wants to bring in something to fill that space. And think about your energy as being responsible for your energy, being responsible for the energy that you emit, because that affects another person. Bearing in mind, we're all connected. Everything is connected. Think of it like a massive universal grid. So your energy affects somebody else, and somebody else's energy affects somebody else. And it's this sort of domino effect of energy. So be responsible for your energy, because when you can be responsible for all of these things that I've mentioned, and if each person on this planet was responsible for all of those different things for themselves, then imagine how amazing this world really could be. So there's your steps for 2022. It takes courage to step into it. It takes effort. It's not easy, because most people would have done it by now. But it's well worth it.